So, Serge, first of all, I know you introduced some new products. Perhaps you can give us a quick description of what some of them are.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me, by the way. Yes, yesterday we announced a whole slew of new products, and all these products are really in the service of our overall mission for the company. So we believe, just kind of as a premise, that this is the century of biology, and there's this incredible advances that are on tap that are going to be happening in the coming years and the coming decades. Life sciences has been going through this exponential sort of trajectory of progress. And one of the key things that the community has learned over the last several years, a lot of it enabled by our products, that there's this underlying complexity to all of our tissues, all of biologies. Every one of us is made of close to 40 trillion cells, and those cells are all doing vastly very different things. And so being able to measure them at
Yeah.
very large scale, a resolution, is incredibly important. And so all our products are kind of in the service of being able to measure this at larger and larger scales and getting into more and more researchers' hands. Those are the kind of different capabilities we're pushing onto the market.
Well, you have 6 ratings, 5 buys, 1 neutral, but that Goldman Sachs neutral still has a price target of 150. You're above that now, 167. Are you fully priced at this point, do you think?
Well, not relative to where we're headed. I mean, I think we have the kinds of ambitions and the kinds of capabilities in the company to build ultimately one of the largest companies in the world, and that's our goal.
You know, there's been a lot of focus on underlying genetics, during the pandemic. At what point does what you do become more mainstream and less niche?
Well, the fact is that what we're doing, while it doesn't have a lot of visibility to the sort of the person on the street necessarily, our tools and our capabilities are driving huge amounts of research that is ultimately resulting in treatments and cures. And in fact, I mean, Tony Fauci said at a recent conference that the vaccines, in a huge way, benefited from single cell research, which is what's enabled by our products. So you can see the manifestation of all these advances already happening in the world, and this, in many ways, is just the beginning.
You've been pretty acquisitive this year. Does that buying streak continue, and where are you looking? What areas, Dr. Serge?
Our philosophy around acquisitions is really driven by where we see the world going, kind of where the frontiers of science and technology, and working backwards from there in terms of what technologies we would need to build those products that our customers will ultimately, the researchers and the clinicians, would use. So we're always scanning kind of the world, and there's lots of smart people outside of our walls, outside of 10X, coming up with amazing new inventions. And when we see something that makes sense for our product roadmap, for our long-term strategic imperatives, then we go out and buy them. So, but there's no. Our philosophy is not to acquire just for the sake of acquiring companies. It is really driven by innovation that we see out there.
Do you see potential partnerships with mainstream pharma in 2021?
So all of mainstream pharma are our customers, and we're happy to have them as our customers. So in that sense, we do partner with them. We try to provide the best products that we can deliver to them. And in fact, again, we see the manifestation of a lot of what we provide for them in the products that they bring to market. So we absolutely will keep pursuing that this year and beyond.
Now, isolating trends, as this virus continues to spread is obviously huge. Is there a role for you here?
Well, yeah. So we definitely, from the beginning of this pandemic, one of the ways that we started kind of feeling it inside the company is all of a sudden a lot of infectious disease researchers about a year ago started coming to us asking to give them extra instruments to analyze these patient samples, and that has really been a big part of the story last year, where lots and lots of COVID samples were being analyzed using our products to understand the disease, to understand how what are the differences between patients that recover, patients that don't, what to figure out the new treatments. And we definitely see that still happening in a pretty significant way. And we hope that, obviously, like everyone, that this pandemic can be brought to a close pretty soon, and we'll try to do our part as much as possible.